Hello everyone, welcome to Canteen Cup. My name is Scott and today's a big day. Today is the day that we start amending the soil, which is the next step in our garden. Let me show you what I got. That's our little garden cart. This will be my spreader, and that's probably 2/3 of the lime that I have to put down on my property. I have to put a total of about a ton down, and I'll get a lot of walking done today. This is the area that we're going to amend, and all I'm going to do is I'm going to fill that little spreader out, walk up and down until all that lime is gone. So that's what I got going for today. I'll have a couple shorts here and there to show you kind of what we're doing. And then after I get the lime and the fertilizer down, then I'm going to come back and till it all in. So it's a big day for us. I can kind of change operations from a logging / lumbering operation to a preparatory garden. I like it. We'll see you. Here's about the rate that I'm spreading this. That's about 40 pounds in there. And I've got the spreader wide open. It's kind of hard trying to do this one-handed. It doesn't take much. There you go. Well, hello everyone, I'm back. Just got done spreading about a ton worth of lime on my property. I may need to put a little more. I can tell I've got about 15 or so bags left. That may be enough for me to go over everything once before, but in between there I'm going to go ahead and put the fertilizer down because that's what I feel like doing. And then when I get done, I'll till it all in. You can see I was the Frito Bandito. That lime is very dusty and I was choking on it, so when I was applying the lime, and probably when I apply the fertilizer, I'll pull my bandana up. Those N95 masks, because I have a beard, are about worthless. I think this does a better job. So the fertilizer that I'm using is called 10-10-10 or 10-10, and let me show you what that's made of. Let's see. I don't know if you can read that or not, but I'll read it to you. It's 10% nitrogen, 10% phosphate, and 10% potash or potassium. And that's the formula. It's nitrogen, phosphate, and potassium. And then when you get the numbers like 10-10-10 or 13-13-13 or 10-20-10, that's what it is. It's the nitrogen, phosphate, and potassium. Now, why am I using 10-10-10? Where did I get that from? Well, a couple months ago, when we first cleared the property, we took soil samples, and what that really means is you go to some random spots on your property that you want to garden or grow things on, and you take soil samples. You take about a cup worth of material, and you put it all in a bag, and then you take it to your county agent. And then for, I forget, $10 or $20, they analyze your soil, and then they come back and tell you what to amend your soil with so that you can grow things. And you can also tell them what you want to grow, like a vegetable garden, an herb garden, trees, whatever, and then they'll base their recommendations on that. We asked about a couple things, and for a garden, and for most things you want to grow, where I live, where there's a lot of pine trees, and that's what was on that land before I cleared it, I needed to add about 230 pounds per 1,000 square feet. That's a lot. It's about a 1/4 pound per square foot. That's a lot. but pine trees, by their nature, turn the soil very acidy so that other things, or most other things, can't grow. They're selfish that way. So in order to bring the soil back, we add lime, which will make the soil more base, or actually raise the pH from acidic to neutral. And that's why there's so much. So if you are in an area where there's a lot of pine trees and you want to start a garden, you spend the money and get your soil analyzed, and then you'll know exactly what it'll take. Otherwise, you may get very frustrated when things won't grow. Now, the caveat to this is blueberries. And blueberries like acidic soil. So we asked for, what we have to do to the soil to grow blueberries, and the report came back, said basically do nothing, maybe add a little 10-10-10 and call it good. So so wherever we're going to go grow blueberries, we're not going to do anything to it except maybe add a little fertilizer, but everything else we got to add lots of lime. So I'm going to get back to it, back in my little hand cart. I'm using my tractor. As you can see, I'm using the forks on my tractor, and I have a pallet on the forks, and that's what I'm carting all this stuff around with. Later on today, when I get to tilling, I'll show you my other tractor. That's an ag plane flying overhead, if you can hear it. My other tractor is what they call a two-wheel tractor, and I'll use that for the tilling, and I'll talk more about that when I get to that point. So anyhow, stay tuned, more to come. We'll see you. Well, I've got the soil all amended. If you look down, you'll see a lot of gray. That's the lime, and the white and other colored pellets is the fertilizer. I did want to take a minute before I get the tilling to show you my two tractors. My one big tractor is, of course, the John Deere, and then this is a two-wheel tractor. They call it a two-wheel tractor for a couple reasons, but one of the main things is that you can swap out attachments like you can on a regular tractor. Right there is the quick disconnect. I pop that little lever up, and then this whole green thing, this is the tiller attachment, comes off, and I can add a bush hog, a chipper shredder, a stump grinder, lots of other things. In Europe, which is where this is from, this is made in Italy, they use these quite a bit. They're a lot easier to maintain. They cost less to maintain. However, they are limited in their capabilities. Like, for example, on the front of my tractor, I have a set of forks, and I can swap those out in about 2 minutes. Just before this part of the video, I had a pallet on there, and that's what I held all my lime and fertilizer, and I carted that out to the field that way. This is a tiller attachment. I just got it. We debated whether to get a full-sized tiller for the tractor or get this smaller one. And let me switch this around a little bit so you can... There, that better? Still got my bandito scarf on. But that tiller is bigger than the average tiller, and I also want to tell you that the handlebars for this switch around, and the reason why they are like they are now is when I bush hog, that's the position they're in, but when I use something like a tiller, I can swing those handlebars around, and this is actually going to be like a rear tine tiller, and it'll help me with getting the soil turned up here in a minute. But getting back, I already had the two-wheel tractor when I got the four-wheel, with the understanding that each one has their pluses and minuses. We got the tiller. We decided to go for the tiller on the smaller tractor mainly because it was a whole lot less money, like the tune of about $1,000 less. And the way we're currently thinking is that we're going to try to do a little permaculture, where once I get this big tilling job done, we're not going to till a whole lot after that. And if we do till, it'll be little isolated places. So the smaller tiller actually will benefit us more in the long run. In the short run, like today, yeah, I'd like to have the big tiller on the back of John Deere where I can just kind of sit and cruise. But, you know, this is hopefully a one and done, maybe a two and done deal. And then we won't be tilling anymore. So I'll keep you posted. I hope everybody's having a good day. It's beautiful here today. It rained, light rain all day yesterday, but today it's beautiful, nice and cool. Good day to work. So we'll see you. All right, back for the last installment. I think my work day is done. I'm tired. Spread about 2,500 pounds of lime and about 350 pounds of fertilizer. Did that with a little hand spreader. Got my workout for the day. Then after that, pulled my two-wheel tractor out, put the tiller attachment on it, and then tilled all that property. Lots of rocks, lots of roots, but at least got one pass over. I kind of wanted to get the fertilizer and the lime mixed in a little bit. I'm tired. My back hurts. Oh man, what a day. But you know, it's a milestone for me. I mean, I may have to till it one or two more times, but you know, we're just far away from putting the cover crop on there and letting it grow, and then I can worry about other things. So before I go, I wanted to mention something. And you know, we are currently in the final stages of the, well, I'll call it the spring lockdown or the spring pandemic thing, whatever you want to call it. And you know, stores are starting to open up. However, on the back side of that, they say there may be a lot of supply chain issues. Packing plants are closing. Meat is becoming harder to get. The big box stores are rationing the meat. And some of the stuff's not available. Like my wife did a pickup order from Kroger's yesterday, and I wanted to get another can of Armour corned beef hash. I just kind of like it. It's not that it's, you know, not that it's really healthy or anything, but I like the taste. I like to put a couple fried eggs on top, and to me that's good. Anyhow, I said, well, while you're there, get me another couple cans of corned beef hash we have, you know, for later. They didn't have any. That surprised me. I mean, they're never out of things like corned beef hash, but yet here it was, they were out. So we've been noticing that, and we decided that we were going to get another freezer. We have one, but we were going to get another freezer and start stocking up, because this is supposed to start up again in the fall, and depending on who you listen to, it may be worse than what it is now. So we figured, okay, well, we'll get a freezer, another freezer, and we'll start, you know, over the summer, we'll start, excuse me a second. Oh, man. You know, we'd start, you know, picking up meats a little at a time, at least as much as they'll let us get. And, you know, we may, you know, get a half a cow or something and butcher it. But funny thing, at least where I live, a freezer can't be had. You can't find a new freezer for sale anywhere, you know, around where I live. And we called the big box stores, we called appliance stores, we called, we got on Craigslist, we got on, what's it, Facebook Marketplace. My wife does that. No, there is not a domestic or a residential freezer to be had. And so, feeling that pinch a little bit, I started looking at commercial freezers, like what you'd find in a restaurant. And I found one, and it was rather expensive, but you know, they have a better a better warranty and it's better built, and we'll be able to stuff that sucker full. So we ended up getting a commercial freezer. It's going to show up here on Monday, and that takes care of that. I wasn't planning on spending as much as I did for that freezer, but it was either that or no freezer. And so we figured, you know, we go ahead and bite the bullet. We'll hopefully have a freezer that'll last a really long time since it's commercial grade. So for those of you that are considering, you know, storing more food than what you already have, and you were thinking about getting another freezer, start looking now, because, you know, I had people promise me May, June, July, and they keep telling me, yeah, they keep promising us one day and then they push it off yet another day. So I don't know. I don't know if this is going to be because they, you know, were making medical supplies or whatever, but I couldn't find the freezer. And that was rather, you know, that was kind of disturbing, because typically you go into a Home Depot, Lowe's, or, you know, one of those big box places, and, you know, there's 10, 20, 30 of them. Now there's none. And we tried the online ordering and just no freezer. So if you're considering getting a freezer, you may have to look at commercial freezers, or you may have to continue to shop around. Maybe you got a brother-in-law that's trying to get rid of one. I don't know, but we couldn't find one. And that being said, my last tidbit of advice before I go inside and drink some more fluids and take a shower is this fall reoccurrence of the COVID-19 that people are predicting. You know, right now is the time to start thinking about getting stuff for the fall. Don't wait until the fall, because already, you know, supply chains and supply lines are getting pinched. It may be worse even before the fall happens. So now is the time to start stocking up, and if people are limiting you on things, you know, get the limit, whatever it is, and try to put away a little bit each time, so that when the fall, winter, flu, COVID-19 season hits, you know, you'll be pretty prepared. And the same goes for meds and whatever else that you feel you need. Get it now if you can. It's excuse me. You know, it may, you know, this was pretty, I say pretty bad, but, you know, we had mostly first world problems here. You know, that's why I understand why people are whining. This was not bad at all to us, but the fall may be worse. And so, you know, I behoove you to start thinking. One of the things we did is we started making a list of things that we missed or didn't have or wanted to have this last pandemic, and then make sure we have it for the next one. So you may want to consider that. All right, well, I'm tired. I've had a busy day. I've got a hot shower and some Aleve lined up. So you all stay safe and stay secure, and we'll see you out there.